lie to the people of Kenya.
Senator Kajwang, what is
if
it?
Mr. Speaker,
There's another. Take your seat, Senator Murkomen.
He's making very good arguments, and I really like the line of his argument. But the consistent use of reference to liars. Who is that liar? Is it William Ruto? Is it Raila Odinga? Is it Musalia Mudavadi? And Mr. Speaker, if that liar is not in this house, is he in order to accuse persons of lying, of dishonesty, and yet those people are not here and are incapable of defending themselves? What would have been easy for him is not to play around with Pharisees and Sadducees and just withdraw the liar bit. Because if the liars are in this house,
Senator Murkomen,
if the liars are in this house, then he needs to name them and substantiate. And if the liars are not in this house, then, Mr. Speaker, he cannot accuse people who are incapable of defending themselves. Perhaps he means William Ruto, maybe. But even if it was William Ruto, it is still not proper for him to call someone who's not in this house a liar without substantiation.
Mr. Speaker, the liars are, Senator Kajwang is right to suspect himself, Mr. Speaker, in this thing, and to passionately defend those who lie to the people of Kenya, that 35% was going to go to county.
Senator Murkomen.
But the point I'm trying to make, Mr. Speaker...
You use your time well because you have other forums to say these things you are saying.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, so my point, if I don't make any other point, is to say, Mr. Speaker, if this budget policy statement is not going to lead us, and I thank you, Senator Kibiru, Senator Tangula, Senator Aaron Cheruiyot, and all the other members of the Finance Committee, Senator Mutula Kilonzo and others, who proposed 490 billion, 95 billion. Mr. Speaker, I will be urging them, we improve it to the BBI proponent standards, Mr. Speaker, to move it to 600 billion that will go to counties. And we want President Uhuru Kenyatta to sign it by June next year, that law, so that then we know he is a true believer of this BBI has been talking about. Let him demonstrate. The Bible says, let your actions speak louder than your words. Mr. Speaker, speak using your words. Mr. Speaker, I saw the Speaker of the National Assembly the other day berating and accusing, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, this House and other people who are not in this House about how, Mr. Speaker, they frustrated devolution to have a lot of money. Let Speaker of National Assembly and members of National Assembly, particularly those who voted for BBI, there were very few of them who voted no. Let them now demonstrate that when we send their bill here, division of revenue bill here, even if it's 495, let them pass it. Because the greatest impediment for devolution has been the Speaker of the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this. Mr. Speaker, I withdraw. I know where you are going.
Yes.
I know where you are going. Mr. Speaker, I should not discuss the Speaker of the National Assembly.
Discuss this.
But Mr. Speaker, the presidential candidates of the DP party, Mr. Speaker, out there, was trying to accuse, Mr. Speaker, this House. This House has been a great defender, Mr. Speaker, of devolution in this House. And we want to tell DP and their presidential candidate, Mr. Speaker, to demonstrate elsewhere where they serve that, Mr. Speaker, they also believe in devolution the way we believe in devolution in this Senate.
You just say DP could be meaning the Deputy President.
No, Democratic Party, Mr. Speaker, a very respectable party, which was led by the best president of the Republic, has degenerated nowadays, Mr. Speaker, to a one-man party. But the point I'm trying to make is that this Speaker, devolution must be demonstrated through actions by people who, Mr. Speaker, sit in positions of power. The last thing I'd like to say, Mr. Speaker, is that this budget policy statement, Mr. Speaker, lastly, is the question of conditional grants. Mr. Speaker, the legal framework, I am glad the committee captured this very important fact that, Mr. Speaker, despite the fact that there is a court ruling of 2016 that gave clear ways, Mr. Speaker, of implementation of Article 190 of the